Now let's take a look at bit of an overview, really, of being a birth partner, kind of what that means, what your role is to provide that support. And this can vary. So, on one hand, it's kind of the practical stuff, but also it's the emotional stuff as well. It's quite a big ask sometimes. And for partners in particular, a big common concern and comment that is made is, I'm just going to feel like a spare part and I'm going to be useless. But I haven't attended a birth yet where birth support wasn't needed. Even if, um, even if a woman in labour seems very capable, very on it, she's just doing it, that's probably because you're in the room and therefore feels safe and secure and doesn't need that much. If you weren't there, maybe she would feel more vulnerable and unsafe. So it's these little things that can make honestly the biggest difference. So I think as a birth partner, there can be a need to kind of always be doing, and sometimes it's about just being rather than doing. And talking it through in advance and being aware of what your role can be can make a huge difference. So you are there to encourage, to support, and to reassure. Eye contact makes a huge difference because women often want to be connected to somebody else, especially if they're feeling a bit overwhelmed, if contractions are just becoming really powerful and big, and they sometimes contractions can feel bigger than you, and you just need to feel that you're connected and this is okay. So the practical stuff is, just regularly offering water, offering snacks, and just you're not waiting for her to request that. You're just offering. If she doesn't want it, she won't take it, but just keep it available. Um, and protecting the birth space. So that's more of an advocate role where it's the space where she feels as comfortable and as safe as possible so she can move as she needs to. That the lighting is as she needs it to be so that she can feel kind of as safe and as relaxed and as calm as possible. And it's about working with your midwife as well. Often birth partners are that advocate because as labour progresses, women don't want to engage with people and conversations as much. So that can fall to birth partners. So that's a big part of your role as well. Being as responsive as possible. So even if you're not needed, it's about you are sitting and waiting until she does need something. And that could be physical support to get into a different position. But because she also needs to feel safe and you've got to be led by her need, it can also be about kind of a massage. I love a hand massage and giving a hand massage in labour because that feels less intrusive than kind of touching the back. And that can feel quite nice. Or women in labour want a cuddle sometimes to feel safe, or it could just be holding hands. So you're being led by her. If she doesn't want that and she says no, then that's it. And you just sit back and eye contact could be all she needs. Dimming the lights, making it that safe space if that's what she needs. If a woman in labour can't settle, so if there's pacing, if she feels unable to kind of just use breathing and unable to kind of just be calm, something's got to change. And it could be the environment, but it could be she needs information. Something's not quite right, and it might be your job to work out what that is. The difficulty for you is that chances are you're not experienced at this. So you either need to talk to your doula, who hopefully would also be providing this information, and your midwife about something's not quite right with how settled she is. What can we do? Or is the way that your partner is behaving and reacting to contractions, is that normal? Because this might not be familiar territory for you. So it's important that you ask those questions as well, so that you can therefore support your partner. I always say match the mood as well. So if earlier in labour your partner is chatty and engaging, match that. The more she withdraws, go with that. Don't try and engage her in conversation if she's at a point of just not really wanting to have conversation. So you've got to be mindful of kind of body language and of her setting the tone for what she needs. And sometimes you do need to speak firmly, though gently, but firmly, to kind of maybe provide that support so that she can be calm, so that she can move into a different position, so that she can kind of refocus on what needs to happen. Because sometimes it is overwhelming and panic can set in, and there are panic points within labour. So that it can be your job to kind of work together in that way, and just to protect her as much as possible so that she can do what feels right. And sometimes being a birth partner feels like a huge job, especially when this isn't your familiar territory. And when I'm booked as a doula, it will often be to provide that support as well. So I can nudge dads to kind of go and provide that support, because I know it's not needed from me, it's needed from them. Or I will get a look as if to say, is this normal? Is this okay? And it's, that's what I'm there for. So if you don't have a doula, that's what your midwife is there for. So you're asking that of her as well. Your midwife is there for you too, because if you're calm and you have an understanding of what's going on, then you're in a better position to provide that support. So don't feel that you don't have a place to ask questions. But just remember that everything you're doing is there to support your partner so that she can do what feels right and make decisions that are ultimately the right ones for her and the baby. It's not always easy though. So sometimes you need to take a breath as well. So focusing on your breathing, getting rid of that tension, being as calm as you can. If it does feel a bit much, fall back on your breathing. Maybe excuse yourself and go to the loo and just, don't want to use the term pull yourself together, because that feels like it diminishes what's going on, but you're needed in that moment. So maybe it's about having a word and going, right, come on, I've just got to do this and I've got to be there. And then you can kind of talk it through afterwards. But you have a very important role to play. So the feeling that you will be a spare part is not accurate at all, because you have a very crucial role to play, and it's providing that support so that she can do what she needs. So most definitely you have questions to ask, and a need for information and support and reassurance yourself as well. So please remember that.